A.C.E. Alex Cardinale, entertainment all day. Click, dive deep. Color on the screen runs free. Tropical fins, bright reef. Whole ocean.
I'm Alex Cardinale, and I personally would like to welcome you to this presentation of the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. I hope you enjoy this special live stream right here on A.C.E.
Every Saturday we do our thing. Alex Cardinale entertainment. Hit subscribe and stay a minute. If you're laughing or you're on the edge, we got it all. You're watching A.C.E.
Welcome to Turning Point with Alex Cardinale. Discover the stories behind the headlines. Join us on an enlightening journey as we delve into the world of tragedies and natural disasters that have shaped history in the United States and around the globe. Our show, Turning Point with Alex Cardinale, is here to uncover what caused these impactful events. What valuable lessons can we learn from them? How do they continue to influence our world today? Don't miss out. Stay informed and inspired as we explore the unexpected turning points that define our world. Whether you're a history buff, a lifelong learner, or simply curious, there's something for everyone. Let's turn these moments of adversity into opportunities for growth and understanding. Together, we can transform knowledge into action. And now, please welcome your host Alex Cardinale live from Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Hello everyone! Welcome to an all-new episode of Turning Point. I'm your host, Alex Cardinale, and since it is Shark Week, tonight on Turning Point, we're going to talk about deadly shark attacks. Yes, shark attacks do happen, and tonight on Turning Point, I'm going to educate you all on the infamous shark attacks that happened, including a real shark attack that inspired the Hollywood hit series Jaws. So tonight, you're going to learn about everything you need to know about shark attacks, including when they happen, why they happen, how they can be prevented, and what to do in case you are involved in a shark attack. And then we're going to learn about some infamous shark attacks like the 1916 Jersey Shore shark attack, and we're going to hear from some survivors of shark attacks. So do me a favor, if you enjoyed the episode, please smash that like button and share it on social media so your friends can enjoy this episode as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this show started. And I want to start by discussing how often do shark attacks happen? Are shark attacks a current thing that happens a lot? Is it a reoccurring tragedy, or are shark attacks rare? Well, the answer is shark attacks are quite rare. Now, an average of 70 unprovoked shark attacks occur globally each year, resulting in roughly 5 to 6 fatalities. Considering the hundreds of millions of people who enter the ocean annually, the statistical probability of being bitten is approximately 1 in 11.5 million, making an encounter exceptionally rare. Now, while attacks are rare, they are highly concentrated in a few specific regions around the world. The United States consistently leads the world, averaging 40 to 50% of all global incidents. Florida is the top hotspot, specifically Visalia County, which records more bites than any other location on Earth. Australia ranks second globally, averaging about 13 to 20 unprovoked incidents a year, though it tends to have a slightly higher fatality rate due to the presence of larger species. South Africa serves as the third primary global hotspot, particularly along the eastern and western Cape. Koi reasons for bites. What are the core reasons that sharks attack? Well, sharks rarely target humans as a food source. Instead, most encounters are driven by specific environmental factors. Mistaken identity. Most unprovoked incidents are hit and run test bites. In murky water, a shark can easily mistake a swimmer splashing or the soles of their feet for a distressed bait fish. Prey proximity. Swimming near sandbars, steep drop offs, or river mouths places humans directly in areas where sharks naturally congregate to hunt. Human activity. Swimming near active fishing boats, large schools of fish, or seal colonies significantly elevates the chance of an opportunistic encounter. High risk species. Out of more than 500 species of sharks, only three species are responsible for the vast majority of all unprovoked fatal attacks on humans. Those three species are the great white shark, the tiger shark, and the bull shark. Practical safety rules. You can dramatically reduce your already minimal risk by altering your swimming habits according to advice from the International Shark Attack File. Avoid low visibility. Do not swim at dawn, dusk, or night when sharks are actively feeding and cannot see clearly. Ditch the shine. Leave shiny jewelry and shimmery swimwear at home as metal and reflective fabrics mimic the flashing scales of prey fish. And stay calm. Avoid excessive splashing, which transmits acoustic vibrations that mimic an injured or dying animal. And that is how often shark attacks happen. But when do shark attacks happen the most? What times of year do shark attacks happen around the world? Let's find out right now. Here is when shark attacks actually happen around the world. So, most unprovoked shark attacks happen between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekends during the warmer, hotter months. While sharks naturally hunt at night and during twilight hours, the spike in daytime incidents is simply due to human behavior. This is when the maximum number of people are swimming in the ocean. Peak times a day, 2 to 3 p.m., human peak. This single hour records the highest absolute volume of shark bites. Warm afternoon temperatures draw massive crowds of swimmers and surfers into the surf zone. Dawn and dusk, shark peak. These twilight periods represent the highest individual risk for anyone in the water. Sharks are crepuscular hunters, meaning their predatory activity spikes during low light conditions. Limited underwater visibility leads to mistaken identity bites, where a shark misidentifies human splashing as a struggling fish. So for the humans' peak of shark attacks is between 2 to 3 p.m., and for sharks, it is dawn and dusk, where they peak and have their most attacks on humans. Peak seasons. Now, shark attacks closely follow seasonal tourism and migration patterns. In the northern hemisphere, such as the United States of America, Florida, and California, for example, actively sharply peaks from April through October. So right now in the United States of America, we are in the midst of shark attack season. Incidents reached their absolute highest levels in August and September due to optimal water temperature and bait fish migrations and dense beach crowds. So August and September coming up are going to be the peak for the summer shark attacks because the water has the optimal temperature and bait fish are migrating. Now, in the southern hemisphere, such as Australia, bites peak from December through March, corresponding with the peak of the southern summer and school holiday sessions. Now, sharks are highly opportunistic feeders that are triggered to hunt by specific environmental factors rather than a calendar. Some more specific times when they might attack include after heavy rains. Heavy rainfall washes organic material out through river mouths, turning coastal waters murky. Bull sharks, in particular, use this low visibility water to surprise prey. Low tide near sandbars. Sharks frequently move inshore during low tide to feed on fish trapped between sandbars or along steep coastal drop-offs. During commercial fishing, the presence of fishing boats dumping bait or cleaning fish creates an immediate artificial feeding ground that draws sharks closer to shore. And that is when shark attacks occur. Now that we know how often shark attacks happen and when shark attacks happen, how can we prevent them? Here is my speech on how we can prevent shark attacks from happening in the future. So, to prevent shark attacks, avoid ocean swimming during twilight hours, skip wearing shiny jewelry, and never swim near schooling fish or fishing activity. So don't swim near schools of fish or fishing activity because that's dangerous. Now, because sharks rarely target humans purposefully, simple changes to your behavior can practically eliminate your risk. Smart personal swim habits. Your behavior in the water is your strongest defense against an encounter. Swim in groups. Sharks are statistically much more likely to approach a solitary individual than a tight cluster of people. Stay close to shore. Remaining within wading distance makes it easier to exit the water quickly and ensures rescue teams can reach you if needed. Avoid dawn and dusk. Sharks are crepuscular hunters, meaning their prey drives spike during these low light periods when their visibility is compromised. Minimize splashing. Erotic, heavy splashing creates acoustic vibrations that mimic a wounded, thrashing fish or animal, drawing sharks closer to investigate. Sharks heavily rely on contrast and reflection to locate prey in murky surf waters. So remove jewelry, metallic bracelets, watches, and necklaces reflect light just like the scales of a swimming bait fish. Ditch bright contrast. Avoid wearing neon swimwear or high contrast gear like a stark yellow surfboard or bright fins against dark skin, which sharks can easily spot from a distance. Cover uneven tans. Highly contrasting skin lines or uneven body coloration can occasionally confuse a shark's visual acuity. Paying attention to your immediate surroundings tell you when it's time to get out of the water. Stay clear of schooling fish. Stay clear of fish schools. If you see large pods of bait fish jumping, seabirds diving, or porpoises feeding, an apex predator is likely hunting nearby. It could be a shark or it could be a killer whale. Avoid fishing zones. Stay far away from piers, commercial fishing boats, and surf fishermen as leaking bull oils and blood draw sharks directly to the beach. Stay out of murky water. Avoid swimming after heavy storms or near river mouths, as low visibility significantly increases the odds of a mistaken identity test bite, as we mentioned a couple of times. All right, and that is how to prevent shark attacks from happening. In just 1 second, we are going to talk about what to do in case you are attacked by a shark or someone you know is attacked by a shark. But real quickly, I would like to welcome a legendary viewer in the house. This viewer has been with me since I first started creating content, so he's a OG fan and a great friend of mine. My friend Jeff is in the house. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a great evening, and I hope you're ready to learn about shark attacks. All right, with that being said, let's get to our next topic. And right now, we're going to talk about what to do in the unlikely event you become attacked by a shark or a family or friend of yours becomes attacked by a shark. So here's what to do if someone you or you know is attacked by a shark. If you or someone near you is attacked by a shark, maintain eye contact with the shark, aggressively strike its sensitive nose and gills, and get to shore immediately to apply direct pressure to the wound. If you are attacked, if a shark approaches or strikes you, do not play dead. You must actively fight back. Maintain eye contact. Sharks rely on ambush tactics. Keep the shark in your field of vision to minimize its tactical advantage. Strike sensitive zones. Target the gills, eyes, and the tip of the nose with sharp punches, kicks, or any heavy object like a camera or surfboard. Use a weapon if available. If you have a snorkel, knife, or spear, use it to poke the shark's gill slits or eyes. Back up against a reef or rock. If you cannot escape immediately, back up against a solid structure to reduce the angles the shark can use to attack you. Swim away smoothly. Once the shark backs off, swim backward toward shore or a boat without frantic splashing, which can trigger another strike. If someone else is attacked, your primary goals are to safely extract the victim and stop any catastrophic bleeding. Signal for help. Shout to lifeguards, beachgoers, or nearby vessels immediately so emergency services can be dispatched. Form a rescue team. Enter the water with multiple people or a watercraft if possible, as sharks are less likely to attack groups. Keep your eyes on the water. While pulling the victims out, have one person scan the water continuously to watch for the shark's return. Immediate first aid on shore. Severe shark bites often involve arterial bleeding. You must act immediately once on dry land. Call 911 immediately. Ensure professional medical responders are en route right away. Apply direct pressure. Use a clean towel, shirt, or your bare hands to press hard directly onto the bleeding wound. Elevate the wound. If possible, raise the bleeding limb above the level of the victim's heart to slow blood flow. Use a tourniquet. If a limb is severely lacerated or severed, tightly tie a surfboard leash, clothing strap, or commercial tourniquet high on the limb above the wound to stop arterial bleeding. Keep them warm and calm. Cover the victim with towels or blankets to combat shock while waiting for paramedics. And that is what to do if you or someone you know is attacked by a shark. And that is great scientific information on shark attacks to get us started. Now you know how shark attacks happen, when shark attacks happen, how to prevent shark attacks, and what to do in a shark attack. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the most infamous shark attacks to ever happen. Learn about the Jersey Shore shark attacks, the Indianapolis shark attacks, and hear from survivors who were attacked by sharks. That all comes your way next, right after a quick word from our flagship program, Saturday with Alex Cardinale, and you're all invited to tune into Saturday with Alex Cardinale.
Tune in to Saturday with Alex Cardinale, your weekend entertainment and educational talk show, airing every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, on YouTube channel Alex Cardinale Entertainment, youtube.com/Alex Cardinale 2026. Join us for an exciting weekend experience with Saturday with Alex Cardinale, where entertainment meets education in the most fun way possible. Since its debut in 2022, the show has been a hub of excitement, blending Alex's diverse passions into one spectacular program. What to expect? Tropical fish adventures. Dive deep into the world of aquatics with Aqua Alex Cardinale as your guide. Culinary delights. Get inspired in the kitchen with unique cooking tips and recipes from Chef Alex Cardinale. WWE Insights. Stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of wrestling. Sports passion. Cheer along with Alex's favorite teams, the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mystery unraveled. Join Detective Alex Cardinale for thrilling investigations. Saturday Buzzer. Alex has 5 minutes to discuss a topic. If he succeeds, viewers must do a favor for Alex. If he fails, he must pay the piper. Hot Take. Alex's take on popular or controversial topics. And so much more. Special appearances by Chef Alex Cardinale, bringing you culinary wonders. Aqua Alex Cardinale, your aquatic expert. Detective Alex Cardinale, solving the mysteries that intrigue you. Get involved. Host your own segment. Have a passion or talent you want to share on the show? Email us at alexgoyankiescardinale19@gmail.com to become a part of the Saturday with Alex Cardinale family. Join us every Saturday for a blend of entertainment, learning, and fun with Alex Cardinale. Don't miss out on this vibrant weekend adventure every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
All right, so right now we're going to go ahead and talk about some infamous shark attacks that have happened here on Turning Point Deadly Shark Attack. Sorry, I had to run and get my beverage real quick, but right now we're going to talk about infamous shark attacks. All right, so the most famous shark attack was the 1916 Jersey Shore shark attack, arguably the most famous series of shark bites in the history occurred along the coast of New Jersey. Over a 12-day period during a heat wave, a single shark, debated to be a great white or a bull shark, attacked 5 people, leaving 4 dead. The inland attack, strikingly, the final 2 fatalities took place in Matwan Creek, an inland freshwater tidal creek more than a mile from the open ocean. The cultural impact. Prior to 1916, American scientists publicly doubted that sharks would ever attack humans. The wave of panic prompted the nation's first major anti-shark hunt, fundamentally altered marine science, and directly inspired Peter Benchley's novel and Steven Spielberg's blockbuster film, Jaws. And we're going to talk about these shark attacks more in depth also. The USS Indianapolis disaster from 1945. Widely recognized as the worst shark disaster in military history, the USS Indianapolis was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine in the Philippines Sea during World War II. Approximately 900 men cast into the open ocean without rescue for nearly 4 days. Attracted by the noise and blood, hundreds of oceanic white-tipped sharks swarmed the sailors. The toll: when rescue ships finally arrived, only 316 men were pulled out alive. Many men died from dehydration and saltwater poisoning. It is estimated that dozens to several hundred men were killed by sharks. Ouch, that's a horrible way to go. Bethany Hamilton, 2003. The most high-profile modern survival story involves American surfer Bethany Hamilton. At just 13 years old, Hamilton was lying on her surfboard in Hawaii when a 14-foot tiger shark bit off her left arm just below the shoulder. Despite losing over 60% of her blood and facing a traumatic amputation, Hamilton returned to her surfboard just 26 days later. She went on to achieve a highly successful career as a professional surfer, and her story was adopted into the Hollywood film Soul Surfer. Rodney Fox, 1963. Australian spearfishing champion, survived what is considered one of the most severe, non-fatal great white shark attacks ever documented. A great white shark clamped its jaws entirely around Fox's torso. His wetsuit miraculously kept his internal organs from spilling out, but he suffered a punctured diaphragm, a ripped lung, and a crushed shoulder blade. It took 462 stitches to put his torso back together. Fox used his survival to become a premier shark researcher, inventing the underwater shark cage to study the apex predators safely. Mick Fanning, live on television 11 years ago, 2015, three-time world champion surfer Mick Fanning experienced an infamous close encounter during the JB Open in South Africa, which was being broadcast live to millions of viewers globally. A great white shark snuck up behind Fanning, snagging its fins in his surfboard leash. Fanning famously punched the shark in the back to ward it off. The outcome: miraculously, Fanning escaped without a single scratch. The terrifying video instantly went viral, bringing global media attention to the realities of marine wildlife overlap. And those are just some of the infamous shark attacks that have gone down in the history of the world and the history of America. All right, so right now we're going to talk more in depth about the shark attack that inspired Jaws and other Hollywood movies on sharks. But first, let's check our live comments really quick because I see they are piling up in the chat. And I want to thank Jeff once again for being very lively in the chat. I appreciate it. It is awesome. And Jeff says, I sure miss being a co-host on your show. That was fun. We did a lot of awesome informal shows on South American cichlids and other tropical fish. That is definitely true. And he says sharks are definitely scary, especially where he's at. They are great whites. Yes, great white sharks are very intimidating, and they have very powerful teeth. But I respect sharks, and I will never enter their home, so I will never be attacked by a shark. It's pretty simple to avoid being attacked by a shark. Just give them their space and respect them from a distance, and you should be A-okay. But yes, you were an awesome co-host. I also miss having you. I'd love to have you as a co-host in the future once again. All right. Right now, let's talk about the 1916 Jersey Shore shark attack, and this inspired Hollywood to create movies on sharks, like Steven Spielberg's Jaws. That was inspired by the real-life 1916 Jersey Shore shark attack. The 1916 Jersey Shore shark attack were a series of 5 shark attacks along the coast and inland waterways of New Jersey between July 1st and July 12th, 1916. The incident resulted in 4 fatalities and 1 severe injury. Occurring during a sweltering summer heat wave and a terrifying polio epidemic, the attacks drove a national wave of panic and have forever transformed marine science and directly inspired the iconic novel and films Jaws. Chronology of the attacks. The attacks progressed geographically northward along the coast over a 12-day period. July 1st, Beach Haven. Charles Van Sant, a 25-year-old vacationer from Philadelphia, was attacked while swimming in the evening. Despite a quick rescue by a lifeguard, he bled to death on the beach from severe leg trauma. July 6th, Spring Lake. 5 days later and 45 miles to the north, Charles Bruder, a 28-year-old hotel bellhop, was attacked while swimming far from shore. The shark bit off his leg and he passed away from shock and blood loss just minutes after being pulled into a rescue boat. July 12th, Matwin Creek, the inland disasters. The most shocking turn occurred 30 miles further north in a narrow, muddy, brackish tidal creek located more than a mile from the open ocean. Lester Stillwell, an 11-year-old local boy, was swimming with friends when a shark pulled him underwater. Stanley Fisher, a 24-year-old tailor, rushed to the creek to recover Stillwell's body. As he swam back with the boy's remains, the shark attacked his right thigh. Fisher bled to death on the way to the hospital. Joseph Dunn, less than an hour later and half a mile downstream, 14-year-old Joseph Dunn was bitten on the leg. His brother and a sea captain managed to pull him away from the shark. He was the sole survivor of the 1916 attacks. The attacks sparked unprecedented mass hysteria across the United States. President Woodrow Wilson called a special cabinet meeting, ultimately authorizing federal aid and armed Coast Guard vessels to drive away all the furious man-eating sharks. Local towns strung chicken wire nets across beaches, threw dynamite into waterways, and organized a massive, uncoordinated hunting bounty. Hundreds of sharks along the East Coast were slaughtered by angry mobs. On July 14th, an 8-foot juvenile great white shark was captured in nearby Raritan Bay. A subsequent autopsy, also known as necropsy, revealed 15 pounds of human remains in its stomach, effectively ending the fatal encounters. For over a century now, marine biologists have intensely debated whether a single rogue shark or multiple animals were involved in the attack. Many modern experts believe the Matwan Creek attacks were the work of a bull shark. Bull sharks possess specialized kidneys that allow them to live comfortably in freshwater environments for long periods. Great white sharks typically cannot tolerate low salinity water. Other scientists point directly to the captured juvenile great white shark that contained human bones in its belly, arguing it could have traveled up the high tide creek due to confusion, hunger, or getting trapped. Prior to 1916, the American scientific community and the general public believed sharks were essentially harmless scavengers, incapable of overpowering a healthy human. The Jersey Shore disasters shattered this belief, giving birth to the archetype of the shark as a cold-blooded man-eater. But the 1916 Jersey Shore attacks made it possible for Steven Spielberg to create Jaws, which is a hit movie on sharks. and that is the 1916 Jersey Shore shark attacks. Coming up next here on Turning Point Deadly Shark Attacks, we're going to talk about the USS Indianapolis disaster, which is one of the most deadliest shark disasters. And then we're going to get into some survivor stories from sharks. But I want to invite you all to this Saturday's Saturday with Alex Cardinale. And this Saturday with Alex Cardinale starts at a special start time of 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific. If you're a WWE fan, this Saturday, I get you ready for SummerSlam. Here's what you can expect this Saturday on SummerSlam, Saturday with Alex Cardinale.
SummerSlam Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Join us this Saturday, August 1st, for a special edition of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific for the ultimate SummerSlam prep on Alex Cardinale Entertainment's YouTube channel. What's on the agenda? Animal of the world. Discover the majestic moose. Aqua Alex featured fish. Dive into the world of the pearl gourami and diamond goby. Monster of the Deep, meet the colossal Goliath grouper. WWE fan Alex Cardinale get exclusive previews of WWE SummerSlam 2026 nights 1 and 2. Fantasy booking witness Alex's ultimate SummerSlam lineup. Hot take, explore the best SummerSlam matches and moments. Saturday buzzer, learn the rich history of SummerSlam in 5 minutes. Success or penalty awaits. Fun and games, enjoy rounds of Two Truths and a Lie featuring WWE SummerSlam, Minnesota, and Brock Lesnar, and much more. Join the excitement and be part of the action this Saturday at 3 p.m. ET 12 noon PT.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so right now, let's talk about the USS Indianapolis disaster.
Yeah.
The sinking of the USS Indianapolis on July 30th, 1945, stands as the single greatest loss of life at sea from a single ship in the history of the United States Navy. It also represents the deadliest mass shark attack ever recorded. Of the nearly 12,000 crewmen aboard, only 316 survived a grueling 4-day ordeal in the shark-infested waters of the Philippine Sea. Just days before her sinking, the heavy cruiser completed a top-secret high-speed mission to the island of Tinian. She delivered the internal components of and enriched uranium for Little Boy, the atomic bomb that would later be dropped on Hiroshima. Because the mission was cloaked in absolute secrecy, the ship was forced to sail, unescorted without sonar gear, to detect submarines on her next leg towards Leyte Gulf. The torpedo strike. Shortly after midnight on July 30th, 1945, a Japanese submarine spotted the cruiser and fired a fan of torpedoes. 2 struck the USS Indianapolis directly. The first blew off the bow. The second hit amidships, detonating fuel and ammunition tanks. The ship capsized and sank in just 12 minutes. Of the 1,196 men on board, roughly 900 survived the initial sinking and made it into the water, mostly wearing only standard life jackets or clinging to sparse cork rings. 4 days of horror. Due to a massive breakdown, the Navy failed to note that the ship had missed its scheduled arrival. The survivors drifted completely unnoticed for nearly 4 days. The commotion of the sinking, the blood of the wounded, and the trafficking of hundreds of men quickly attracted predators. Marine biologists believe the primary species evolved was the oceanic white-tipped shark, which is a bold, pelagic predator known for its aggressive scavenging behavior in the deep ocean alongside some tiger sharks. The feeding pattern. Initially, the sharks targeted dead sailors drifting in the water. However, as the days progressed, the sharks grew bolder, swarming the living men. Sailors huddled in tight circles for safety, splashing and screaming to scare them off. But lone swimmers or those drifting away from the groups were quickly taken. Sharks were not the only killers. Dehydration, severe saltwater poisoning, hypothermia at night, and extreme hallucinations led many men to give up or accidentally drown each other. On August 2nd, a Navy PV-1 Ventura pilot on a routine anti-submarine patrol accidentally spotted an oil slick and hundreds of men floating in the ocean. An amphibious PBY Catalina flying boat commanded by Lieutenant Adrian Marks was dispatched to the scene. Seeing the sharks actively attacking and feeding on the survivors, Marks defied standing orders and landed his seaplane in the open ocean to scoop up lone swimmers. He packed 56 men inside the fuselage and lashed more to the winds until rescue ships arrived. Only 316 men were pulled from the water alive. And that is the USS Indianapolis disaster, another tragic shark attack. So many people lost their lives in 1945 to sharks. I cannot fathom what it's like to be attacked by a shark. So I see we have some more awesome comments. Thank you, Jeff, for that. That is awesome. 9 likes. That is awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for liking. I love the live activity that we have on this live stream. Huge shout out to my friend Jeff. Thank you so much for that. You guys are all awesome. Hopefully, some of you that are tuning in for the first time, hopefully I can convince you to become a subscriber and tune into all my awesome upcoming live streams that I have, including on August 15th, a very special episode of Saturday with Alex Cardinale. I would love to have you guys there.
Celebrate Alex Cardinale's 33rd birthday bash. Join us for an unforgettable night on Saturday, August 15th, 2026, as we celebrate Alex Cardinale's 33rd birthday on a special edition of Saturday W/Alex Cardinale. Tune in live at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Alex Cardinale Entertainment's YouTube channel. Exciting segments await. Animals of the world discover intriguing facts about the cheetah, lion, and tiger. Aqua Alex featured fish. Dive deep with the marbled Motoro stingray and Florida gar. Monster of the deep. Meet the incredible tessellata moray eel. 10. Aqua Alex's birthday fish. Find out the new fish Alex is getting for his birthday. Grand Pond reveal. Witness the unveiling of Aqua Alex's new pond. Age 32 reflections. Lessons learned. Hopes for the new year and more. Surprises and entertainment. Birthday surprises. Return of funny videos. And so much more awaits you. Don't miss out on this exciting birthday celebration.
And I'd like to take this second to wish my friend Jeff a happy early birthday. His birthday is this Friday, so I want to take a quick second to wish my friend Jeff an amazing birthday. He's an amazing viewer, and he is doing a lot of great things for my channel tonight. So thank you very much, Jeff. All right, right now we are going to talk about Beth Hamilton. Now, Beth Hamilton is the story of courageous. She is a great example of a courageous person. She had this huge tragedy where a shark cost her one of her arms, but she was able to overcome that and have a successful career. Let's talk about Bethany Hamilton right now and her story of being attacked by a shark, shall we? All right. So the shark attack on 13-year-old Bethany Hamilton on October 31st, 2003 resulted in the loss of her left arm, but it ultimately became one of the most famous and inspiring survival stories in modern sports history. Despite losing over 60% of her blood, promising young surfer miraculously returned to the ocean just 26 days later and went on to achieve her dream of becoming a top-tier professional athlete. The morning of the attack, her attack actually happened on Halloween. How scary is that? On Halloween morning in 2003, Hamilton went for an early surf at Tunnels Beach along Kauai's North Shore in Hawaii. She was in the water with her best friend, Elena Blanchard, Elena's father, Halt, and her brother, Byron. Around 7:30 in the morning, Hamilton was laying flat on her surfboard, paddling and resting her left arm dangling into the clear water. There was no splashing, warning, or visible sign of wildlife. Suddenly, a 14-foot tiger shark bolted from the depths and clamped onto the left rail of her surfboard, instantly severing her left arm just below the shoulder. Calm response. Hamilton did not scream. She stayed remarkably calm, gripped her board with her remaining hand, and alerted her friend that she had been bitten. The shore sprint. Halt Blanchard paddled over instantly, pulled Hamilton onto his own board, and fashioned a makeshift tourniquet out of his surfboard leash to stanch the massive bleeding. Sorry, folks. The paddle back. The group paddled nearly a quarter-mile back to the shore, facing a grueling 20-minute journey where Hamilton began drifting in and out of consciousness from extreme blood loss. The hospital coincidence. Once on land, beachgoers used towels to wrap her arm before paramedics rushed her to Wilcox Memorial Hospital. In a bizarre twist of fate, Bethany's father, Tom Hamilton, was already scheduled to undergo knee surgery at that exact hospital that very morning. He was rolled out of the operating room so the trauma team could perform emergency surgery on his daughter. Doctors later credited her elite athletic coordinating and her athletic conditioning and her calm demeanor for keeping her alive despite losing nearly 2/3 of her entire blood volume. Return to the water and pro career. While many assumed the trauma would end her surfing aspirations, she defied all expectations. Less than a month after the amputation, she paddled back into the ocean on a customized, thicker surfboard equipped with a handle to help her duck dive under heavy waves. She learned to paddle aggressively with just her right arm and timed her pop-up sequence entirely different to compensate for her missing limb. In 2007, she realized her dream by turning professional. She went on to win multiple national titles, and she famously placed third at the Fiji's Women's Pro in 2016, and she was inducted into the Surfers Hall of Fame. The 14-foot tiger shark that bit her was caught and killed by local fishermen a few miles from the attack site, and her surfboard, missing a clean 17-inch crescent chunk, is preserved at a historic exhibit. Hamilton details her life-changing experience in the best-selling 2004 autobiography, Soul Surfer, which was later adapted into a major 2011 Hollywood feature film of the exact same name. And that is the Bethany Hamilton shark story, a courageous story indeed. All right, right now we're going to talk about Rodney Fox. Let me get a drink of soda really quick. All right. The great white shark attack on Australian spearfishing champion Rodney Fox on December 8, 1963, is widely considered the most severe, non-fatal shark encounter ever recorded. Despite his torso being entirely clamped inside the jaws of a great white shark, Fox miraculously survived after undergoing a marathon 4-hour surgery requiring 462 stitches. The competition at Aldinga Beach. On the day of the attack, Fox was defending his title at the South Australian Spearfishing Championship at Aldinga Beach, about 35 miles south of Adelaide. He was swimming about 600 yards offshore in murky water wearing a thick neoprene wetsuit and towing a catch of speared fish behind him. That is his biggest mistake. The fish catch behind him is what drew the sharks towards him. Without warning, a massive great white shark struck Fox from below, hit him with immense force, and clamped its jaws entirely around his left torso and chest. The shark dragged Fox underwater. Instinctively, Fox gouged the shark's eyes and nose with his hands, causing the predator to release him. The second strike, as Fox swam toward the surface for air, the shark returned, grabbing his left arm. Fox pulled his arm free, but the movement shred the skin down to the bone. The shark circled a third time, swallowing Fox's speared fish bayou line instead. As the shark dove, the rope snapped, allowing Fox to finally surface and yell for help. A miraculous rescue. Fox's wetsuit acted like a structural corset, physically holding his crushed ribs and ruptured internal organs inside his body as he was pulled into a nearby rescue boat. He was rushed to the hospital in critical shock, missing a pulse at several intervals. The medical team found that the shark's teeth had bypassed his main arteries by mere millimeters. However, Fox suffered a punctured diaphragm, a ripped lung, a crushed shoulder blade, and exposed ribs and stomach. Doctors used a record 462 stitches to put his upper body back together. Invention of the shark cage. While the trauma would have driven most people away from the ocean, Fox chose to dedicate the rest of his life to studying sharks. Realizing that marine biology knew almost nothing about great white behavior, Fox designed and built the world's first underwater shark cage in 1965 to observe them safely in the wild. And that is Rodney Fox. All right, right now we're going to talk about Mick Fanning. The live broadcast encounter involving Australian surfer Mick Fanning on July 19, 2015 is the most famous non-injurious shark incident in history. During the final heat of the J Bay Open in Jeffreys Bay, South Africa, a large great white shark struck Fanning from behind, dragging him underwater on live international television before he managed to fight it off completely unharmed. The incident on live television, Fanning, a three-time World Surf League champion, was sitting on his surfboard waiting for his opening wave when a great white shark swam up directly behind him. The shark became entangled in Fanning's polyethylene surfboard leash, trashing violently and knocking him off his board. As the shark circled, Fanning famously punched the animal directly in its back to drive it away. On the live broadcast, a massive splash obscured Fanning, and his board popped up solo, leaving millions of viewers, commentators, and his mother wondering at home if he had been pulled under. But he emerged safely. Water safety teams on jet skis and inflatable boats responded instantly to the emergency signal. They raced through the lineup, pulled Fanning out of the water within seconds, and evacuated his fellow competitor and close friend, Julian Wilson. And that is the Mick Fanning case. Well, coming up next, it's our main event, and it's going to be survivor stories from shark attacks. Now, this past Saturday, it was Sharky Saturday, where I focused on sharks. Well, coming up on September 19th, we're going to talk about the shark's cousin, one of my favorite animals, stingrays.
It's Stingray Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Feel the sting.
Dive into Stingray Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Join us on Saturday, September 19th, 2026 at 10 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. PT for an exciting exploration of the mysterious world of stingrays. Tune in to the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel for an unforgettable evening dedicated to these fascinating creatures. What's in store? Discover featured stingrays from both freshwater and saltwater habitats. Engage with intriguing stingray topics and discussions. Get the scoop on stingray myths, uncover the friendliest stingrays, and learn about freshwater rays. Don't miss the Saturday buzzer focusing on all things stingray. Whether you're a marine enthusiast or just curious about these amazing animals, Stingray Saturday promises to be both informative and fun. Mark your calendars and prepare for a splash of knowledge. See you September 19th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific.
All right now in our main event, we're going to talk about survivor stories from shark attacks. And we have one from 2009 with a gentleman by the name of Paul D. Gelder. Now, while participating in a routine Australian Navy counterterrorism diving exercise in Sydney Harbour, clearance diver Paul D. Gelder was attacked by a 10-foot bull shark. The shark clamped onto his right leg and right arm simultaneously. He fought the shark to the surface, and his crew dragged him onto a support boat where they applied life-saving tourniquets. Unfortunately, he lost his right hand and right leg, but through sheer determination, he learned to walk and swim with prosthetics. So unfortunately, he did lose his right hand and right leg, but he had the courage and the stamina and the strength to overcome this tragedy. And he later left the Navy to become an internationally renowned motivational speaker. He's a regular host on Discovery Channel Shark Week, which ironically is going on right now. I don't know if he'll be on this year's event. And he is a leading global advocate for shark protection. In 2006, we have Ahmad Hassan. During a lifeguard training exercise off the coast of Muizenberg, South Africa, Ahmad Hassan spotted a 15-foot great white shark swimming directly towards his young brother. To save his brother, Hassan initially drummed his hands violently against the water to draw the shark's attention to himself. The tactic worked. The shark turned and severed Hassan's right leg below the knee. Hassan survived the severe trauma and turned to competitive swimming. He went on to represent South Africa in the 2008, 2012, and 2016 Paralympic Games, winning a bronze medal in London. He was later named a United Nations Global Bravery Award recipient. Shannon Anayali, in an exceptionally rare anomaly of marine biology, 15-year-old South Australian surfer Shannon Anayali was attacked simultaneously by two different great white sharks while surfing at Nahoon Reef in East London. One 13-foot great white hit him from the front, pinning his surfboard, while a second great white rammed him from the left, biting his hand and head. The simultaneous collision actually knocked him free from the jaws of both predators. A passing wave pushed him toward shore, where fellow surfers dragged him to safety. Remarkably, he did not lose any limbs, and he went on to become a professional surf coach, even coaching surfers in Jeffers Bay, where Mick Fanning would later have his encounter. And ladies and gentlemen, that is this episode of Turning Point. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing episode and learned a lot about deadly shark attacks. For more shark stories and more amazing Shark Week content, make sure you check out Shark Week on National Geographic, and make sure you check out Sharky Saturday from this past Saturday on my YouTube channel. Thank you everyone who tuned in live. Thank you all for the support. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. And if you are a new viewer, please make sure you subscribe. I have a lot of great content coming up that you're not going to want to miss. All right, on our next episode of Turning Point, where I cover tragedies, we're going to talk about another animal attack. We're going to talk about crocodile and gator attacks. So get ready to learn about crocodile and gator attacks on our next episode of Turning Point. With that being said, have a great rest of your evening. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Good night from Port St. Lucie, and thank you all for watching. And thank you, Jeff, for the amazing support tonight. I, Alex Cardinale, would like to say thank you for watching this live stream on the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. I personally hope you enjoyed the live stream and the video. If you did enjoy the live stream, please smash that like button and please share this video on social media so that your friends and family can enjoy it as well. If you are a first-time viewer or new to my YouTube channel, I highly recommend hitting that subscribe button and ding the notification bell for notifications when I go live next or when I upload a video. I highly recommend subscribing so you're a member of the ACE community. Thank you for watching ACE.